Indecision is a common trick the ego plays on you. It's very easy to get twisted up in our minds, wondering what we should do about this situation, this person, this relationship, or big decisions in life. What should I do with my life? What should I put my energy toward? What's most important to me? So these types of thought processes, these thoughts that come upon us, are very good at luring our attention into the mind. Because what underlies them, what underlies these thought processes, is a feeling of uncertainty. Yeah? So if we weren't feeling uncertain, would we have to contemplate those sorts of things? So the pointing here is, what is it like to feel uncertainty directly and recognize that the feeling of uncertainty is really what wants our attention right now, instead of the seeming need to plan, to think about, to contemplate. So if we can feel into this uncertainty, and by the way, there are times, of course, when a decision has to be made. Maybe you'll be in a conversation with someone and coming up with a plan together, or maybe you give a few moments of thought to what to do about a certain situation and make that decision in the moment and then act. And that's fine. What I'm talking about here is when we feel distracted by this, when it feels heavy, when it feels like unnecessary thought. And the more you pay attention to this, the more discernment you'll have about when you're being pulled into the mind unnecessarily. Something tells you that to continue to think about this, contemplate this, doubt yourself, doubt your judgment, etc., is just pulling you out of presence, pulling you out of the experience of just being alive right now. So when you notice that, that's a good thing. Pay attention to it. Then you have the opportunity to feel into what the body's feeling right now. What does the unknown feel like? What is the feeling of being uncertain? What is the feeling of being in between? It might feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. But feel in. Where do you feel this in the body? Is it moving? Is it still? Is it a sensation in the head, the neck, chest? Spend a few moments with that experience of indecision, of unknowing, of unknowability, with the discomfort of it. Notice there's a judgment here. The judgment says, it's not okay to not know. It's not okay to feel discomfort, so I have to run from it by going into some mental space where I feel like I know, or I can decide. This is to use the mind or be used by the mind in a way that will cause an avoidance of the underlying direct experience of the moment, presence. Remember, presence doesn't always feel like bliss and expansion. Sometimes presence feels like contraction, feels like discomfort in the body. But we can subtract the labeled discomfort and just feel what's there, what's underneath. That is also presence. So once we're in that knowing that, oh, okay, I see. The thinking is a distraction right now. There's actually no big decision to make at this moment. There's a sensation, an experience, an emotion. And then we start to feel it. Oh, it feels like a little bit of tension in the jaw or the neck. And then we can notice all of those judgments about the sensation, like it shouldn't be here, I don't want it. And recognize those are just more thoughts. Those are the anchors that keep the mind grabbing your attention. But when you release those anchors and just feel what's underneath, it starts to feel much more expansive, more intimate, more free. From here, we can remind ourselves or just simply remember that all doing, all expression of being and experience only happens here. It's not up there in the mind. It's not up there in the control mechanism that on one side of the coin tells us it's making us feel better because we're in control, but on the other side of the coin is constantly avoiding the fear of helplessness, the fear of unknowing. So we recognize moving attention in that direction leads to more discomfort, and allowing attention to drop right into the sensations, into the field of direct experience, feels more natural, immediate, simple, innocent. And when we drop right through that, we start to notice something very interesting, something fascinating. This is all just happening. No decisions are made. Everything is expressed naturally. What arises here, not in time. It's simply the case now. There's no receiver of experience. There's only vivid experience. There's no receiver of sound. There's only sound filling all spaces, all times and places. And that's the sound you hear right now. There's only sensations. Those sensations didn't come from somewhere and they're not going anywhere. They don't need help. There's no decision to make about them. This isn't a deep meditative experience, although it can be. This is the body moving, walking, stepping, sitting. This is cooking, chopping, washing, driving. No body, no car, just driving. No foot, no pavement, just walking. So let all of that doing spontaneously manifest itself in experience for no one apart. Too much distance in a self, too much distance in a receiver or a perceiver. This is no distance. Life requires no distance, because the appearance of distance and the appearance of space and the appearance of time materialize within this. But whatever this is, this ineffable, impossible to talk about aliveness, does not even require time or space. It's so real that it's not in the realm of reality or unreality. It can't come or go, because to see something coming and see something going, we need to activate thoughts. This requires no activation of anything. This doesn't even require a body-mind. This doesn't even require there to be a physical universe. So the 5 sense gates are the portals to this radical infinity of intimacy. And the frequency is indeterminacy. And the feeling tone of indeterminacy is helplessness. And the recognition of helplessness is that it's at the bottom of all struggle. It's at the bottom of all desire and aversion. And desire and aversion manifest in the mind as me, my problems, the world, my solutions, where I'm going and where I came from. So follow this trail of breadcrumbs all the way back down the rabbit hole. Straight through those sense gates and see what can never be missed, what's indescribable and ineffable. What is making all this happen? What is all of this happening without any need to act upon anything? Pure expression, pure appearance, experienced from no side, from no distance. So there's nothing to seek here. There's nothing to find here. There's nowhere to go and there's nowhere you've come from.